Something I made with AI a year ago is still doing work for me today. And I wanted to share it with you. I actually published a whole episode about it a year ago, but that's back when a lot of you weren't listening to the show. So I need to bring it back around, share all the juicy details with you and how to recreate this whole campaign yourself, because I think you're going to want to put this one to play for your company. Welcome back to the AI Driven Marketer. I'm Dan Sanchez. My friends call me Danchez. And today I want to talk about how to use AI to do hyper-personalized nurture sequences. Yes, a lot of us are generating leads. We're generating email subscribers. We put out lead magnets. And I think all of that's really good and we need to do more of it. But what if you could have AI make it 10 times better? That's what we're going to figure out in this video. And I want to show you step by step how I built this automated AI lead nurture sequence a year ago. And it's been running almost perfectly for about a year. I do tweak it every once in a while, but it's been running. And I want to show it to you, kind of break down the components of you, show you the tool that I'm using, and then show you how you can actually get the whole template of what I created loaded into your own marketing automation account. So stay tuned for that at the end. So let's dive into this AI-driven nurture sequence step by step. And let me break it down for you. First, I'm going to go to my LinkedIn profile. And if you're following along in audio, just know I'm going to be walking through this on my screen. Though I'll be talking through step by step what I'm doing. So you should be able to catch about 90% of what I'm talking about. But if you do want to pull it up, you can catch the video on Apple, on YouTube, on my own website, danchez.com, as well as Spotify when I remember to upload the video, since that has to be done separately. So this is a video podcast. I'm trying to keep it video oriented, but still audio friendly for all my people working out and driving while listening to this thing. So I'm on my LinkedIn profile now, kind of scrolling down where I have a few typical lead magnets. One is my audience deep research toolkit. If you haven't been here, man, you should check these out. But what I'm really talking about today is this free course that I made called the AI Fundamentals. So I've had a number of you take, and a lot of people have told me that it's been an awesome course. It's probably not quite so 101, even though I have it listed here as like a 101 course. It's probably more of a 202 course. Now that I've gotten feedback from people, I'll change that eventually. But I'm going to open up this course. If you click on the link on my LinkedIn profile, this lead magnet I have, it opens up in this landing page. Nice looking landing page, kind of matches the style of my site. It shows you like the little screenshot of the 5 emails, and it has, of course, the form. And that's where the excitement starts, because in most like email lead magnets, especially like a 5-day little drip with a video in each email, like that's pretty typical. Like we've all done it. Like it's not an unnormal thing. But in here, I did something a little extra, and it actually starts with the form. It's a normal looking form, and I'll ask for a first name, last name, email. That's the typical part. But the extra part, I ask for a job title. I ask for what the company sells that the person filling it out is selling, and who their company sells to. So essentially their product or service and their audience. And with those 3 pieces of information, we can create a hyper-personalized campaign that will do a much better job of actually teaching somebody something and how to take action on the lessons you're giving them. And we all know as marketers, like if you can endear somebody, or if you can really help somebody, if you can really educate something and make something more practical to them, you're more likely to stand out. You're more likely to give that gift of reciprocity back, right? And endear them to your brand, your way of thinking, and then of course later on with offers that you might have down the line. So that's the whole point of doing hyper-personalization, so you can actually like help them, and then in helping lots of people, some of them will come and buy from you. That's the reason why we do content marketing, right? So nothing new there. So I've already submitted this button. I just pre-filled it out with some fake information, not fake information, but like I simplified it down. I put my name, I put my email in this form. For my job title, I was just going to want to show you an example. So I put social media manager, and I put, what does your company sell? And I kind of picked my role at Social Media Examiner. And I put educational conference as an example, right? And then I even put in parentheses, social media marketing world. And then I put, who does your company sell to? And I just put social media marketers and agency owners as generally the audience showing up to social media marketing world. So I started with that. This form kicks off an automated sequence in one of my favorite AI tools called High Level. They've become even a sponsor for the show and is part of the reason why I'm doing this podcast, but it's honestly something that I wanted to do anyway because High Level has such great AI marketing tools that I was freaking ecstatic about them reaching out to me and sponsoring this podcast. So I'm actually looking at this workflow within High Level, and this whole thing kicks off with this form, right, as the trigger. So someone just fills out the form, easy enough, and then I tag them to make sure I know they've come through the course before, and it goes through kind of a repetitive sequence over and over again for 5 days. It goes to a ChatGPT module I have right here, and this is really magic. Like the fact that they have this ChatGPT OpenAI module within High Level is what makes this whole thing work. Because before, when it came to personalizing email, like you're a marketer, you know what we had before, like insert first name, insert this answer from this thing. It was almost like personalization through like Mad Lib style emails. We don't have to do that anymore. We can custom write whole sections of emails or the whole email like through ChatGPT. The thing that makes it special, though, the thing that where we really need to engineer, though, is honing in that prompt so that it gives back consistent answers and feeding it just a few key pieces of information about the student essentially going through this nurture campaign. So you can see here, I'm going to break it down in detail, but right here I have this, it kind of, you can pick your AI model. In fact, it's turbo. I need to pick 4.0 here. I picked a custom action type. You could do a few different things. You can use it to summarize. You can analyze text sentiment. I usually do the custom because I just want it to feed me back what I want. And I give it a prompt. Okay, and in this prompt, I have two things. So as the contact record passes through this little workflow, this automated workflow, it passes through ChatGPT and triggers a ChatGPT prompt where I have embedded the prompt, but I also have the transcript from the lesson of the first email that's going to go out to them. So let me show you what this prompt looks like. It's a little intense. I promise I will copy and paste this prompt and put it in the vault that I'm going to tell you about at the end of this video. Like I said, I'm going to package this whole campaign up and send it to you so you can install this in your own system. The prompt that I'm using, you can use as an example here. But I'm going to open it up. I like to inject the prompt dynamically into every single instance. You can see I have to go back to ChatGPT for every single lesson in this sequence. But I didn't want to, like, if I had made a change to the prompt, I didn't want to have to do it 5 times for the 5 different lessons. I only wanted to do it once in one place so that it would change in all 5 of them. So in High Level, we do that something called a custom value. It's essentially a place where you can put some content one time in High Level, and then wherever that merge tag for that piece of content is found later in an email or in the sequence or in different places, it always pulls that one piece of content, which is kind of a nice little feature. And I'm going to open up my custom values section in High Level where you can see this freaking long prompt. Let me just read part of it to you so you can get an idea of like how it goes. It says, and this is, it's just kind of prompt you would send to ChatGPT. It says, write a 3-point action plan for the marketer who has just watched the lesson on AI marketing, transcript below. To get them and get started, customize the action items based on the information provided about the marketer below. Write in the first person as Dan Sanchez, me, the teacher, directly to the marketer in the style that is friendly and uses simple terms. Keep each item extremely concise. Do not use formatting, but do number each action item. Use the template and example below to guide your writing. And here, this is where I merge in the information that they gave me in the form. I said, here's something to know about the marketer. Here's their first name, so they can use their first name in the content. Job title, and merge in that information. Their product or service, again, that gets merged in, and their audience that they sell to gets merged in from the form. This is where it starts to get really powerful because, again, because I'm prompting ChatGPT one-to-one here for every single person that goes through this course, it's customizing the information every single time because I'm merging in custom variables to that ChatGPT prompt. So I also have an example here of what a good output looks like. And then at the very bottom, I have the word transcript, the colon, but I don't actually put the transcript into the prompt because, again, I'm using the same prompt for all 5 lessons. And I put it into this custom value so that I only have to update it in one place, and then it gets updated in all 5 prompts that are getting sent to ChatGPT. And this is cool because I don't have to, in most systems, you'd have to work with OpenAI's API, and you'd have to do a little bit of custom dev work, not really complicated. You have to do it for tools like make.com or NAN sometimes, like set up your account. But here, it's already done for you. Like High Level's already done that work. You don't have to create this OpenAI API account. You don't have to set up your API key and then hook it up. It's just done for you. They do charge you a little bit extra on top of it, but I find anything High Level charges for you on extra consumables like this are always really reasonable. They only mark it up a little bit. One other thing is anytime you're dealing with OpenAI's API, there's always this extra setting that you don't have in chatgpt.com, right? It's called temperature. And it's usually a setting from 0.1 to 0.9 in general. Actually, I'm looking at the notes here. Yeah, 0 to 0.8. No, 0.9 I think is the highest that I've seen, or 1. It's from 0 to 1. So 0.3 is what I have mine set to, which means it's pretty strict. Like it's going to stick to what I gave it to do, versus if you put it closer to 1 or as a 0.8, it's going to have a little bit more creative freedom. So it kind of depends on what you want. When you're dealing with the API, it's actually really handy to have this tool sometimes, because again, like when we're dealing with AI, especially automated like this, I'm not vetting these emails before they're going out to users, right? I need it to stick pretty close to what I want. And that's why the temperature is actually really important depending on what you're trying to accomplish. I need it to stick close to the example. I need it to use it, but I need to give it some creative liberties because I do need it to essentially look at the characteristics of the marketer coming through here and customize the lesson enough that it actually makes a meaningful difference in the content. So again, it's sending back, I'm prompting ChatGPT, and you get back the one response. Now, in a system like High Level here, you actually have to do a whole nother action here to take what you get back from ChatGPT field 1, and then I have to put it into a contact custom field. That's essentially a customized field. Like on most CRMs, you can create different sections of a contact record and add custom fields into it. I actually created a large text area to be able to smash a bunch of content into it and then inject it into something else, and that's what I'm doing here. I created a custom field called ChatGPT Response 1, and I made a custom field for each of the 5 lessons that are moving forward here. So as the contact record, again, passes through here, it goes through OpenAI's this OpenAI module here, then takes the response back from OpenAI and tucks it into a custom field for that contact record, and then goes ahead and actually creates the first email. And of course, here in High Level, I'm scrolling through this email widget, and you got all the normal things like from name, from email, subject line. And then in High Level, you don't create the email right here. You create the template that we can go ahead and edit the template here, and I'll show you what this email looks like. So for a lot of these emails I've designed, I took a HTML approach, and I have a nice little design here. It's pretty simple, but it has like an introduction that's the same for everybody, and then it has a link to the video with a little play button on it. If they click the link, it goes over to YouTube where they can watch the video. But underneath it, it has a header called Your Custom Action Plan. And underneath that is where I actually have that merge tag that we talked about later, is where I'm stashing ChatGPT's response back with that custom reply. Now here in this email builder, you can't see what OpenAI writes because this is just the template, right? These little merge codes merge in the information dynamically. Now, of course, in this email, I'm actually specifying like, hey, I have a little section here that's the same for everybody. It says the action items above were crafted just for you based on your job title, industry, and lesson with AI. I think it's really good to be transparent about what's going on. And I ask, how did it do? I'd love some feedback. And over time, I've gotten a few responses from people saying it was awesome. This is great. I've gotten some people being like, hey, this isn't quite as accurate as I would have liked it to have been. And I've actually gone through and, changed the prompt, tweaked it, tightened it up a little bit to make it better. And of course, I have my little call to action to subscribe to the podcast because I'm a marketer and trying to spread people around to different places. If they're on my email, get them to podcast. You know the game. So that's the email. But let me show you an example of what that email looks like fully filled out. Here I'm in my inbox, and just before tapping record, I did fill out the form with that information that we were looking at earlier with me as a social media manager, selling social media marketing world to social media managers, right? So I went through, and here's that same email we're just looking at. Of course, the content's the same. The link to the videos here, my intro sentences are here, but then here's the custom action plan based on the prompt, based on the custom information I gave it. And here's what ChatGPT essentially plugged in here, and it looks really good. It says, number one, beginner action, right? Because I broke it down, I specified to ChatGPT, break it down into 3 different actions: a beginner action, intermediate action, advanced action based on the lesson. I said, beginner action, Dan. See how it knew my name? Dan, as a social media marketer, because that's what I told it, start crafting a simple, for context, the lesson, because you probably couldn't see my screen if you're listening to this, is this first lesson in this AI Fundamentals, like 101 course, is how to craft super prompts. If you haven't heard that term before, I highly recommend going and watching this course. I will drop a link in the description to this course so you can experience this whole thing for yourself. Highly recommend going through the course, but this first lesson is on super prompts. So I say, Dan, as a social media marketer, start by crafting simple prompts in ChatGPT to generate basic content ideas for your educational marketing conference. Try asking AI to come up with a catchy tweet about the latest social media trend discussed at your event. So that's a really simple thing. Intermediate. Once you're comfortable with this, with basic prompts, level up by using super prompt technique to craft more detailed social media posts. For example, instruct AI to act as a well-known marketing expert providing insights on a specific topic from your conference, ensuring to include context like the conference's focus, the target audience, and any relevant data points. See, now it's taking me a step farther, giving me some more specific instructions, because that's what good teachers do, right? They start you off with just one little piece, and then they build on it, and then they build on it. And this is why AI is so cool, because we can hyper-personalize and help our students of our content learn more faster and break it down for them in small pieces. And this is just one way to do hyper-personalization. I'm sure there's many others. And then, of course, let me read you this last section just to kind of give you the full effect. In step 3, it gave the advanced action. To really harness AI in your marketing efforts, integrate prompt engineering into your overall social media strategy for the conference. Experiment with different roles, results, context, intents, constraints to generate a variety of content forms such as blog posts, tweets, and LinkedIn updates that are tailored to the different segments of your audience. This will help you create more targeted and engaging content that can drive higher engagement and attendance. So this is really good. Again, it's breaking it up for me in different steps. Now it's talking about audience segments, broader forms of content, and kind of painting a picture for me of what this lesson around super prompts looks like fully baked. So that's just a little sample of this email. Again, this is all made possible with High Level, which in my opinion is like the best deal when it comes to MarTech on the planet right now. I've been a user since, I want to say 2022. So a couple of years now, and I've been using it just personally because one, it's only like $100 a month, and two, you get all the freaking features in it. I used to be an avid Infusionsoft user, and I'd make that thing bend over backwards, man. I automated a whole college admission system. We tripled the college off the back of Infusionsoft, but I had to have all these extra plugins into it to do texting and LMS stuff and all kinds of things, but High Level does it all in one. And now it has all these AI features into it to do hyper-personalized campaigns like this one. And I want to give this whole campaign to you. I actually created what they call a snapshot within High Level, and I can actually transfer like the bones of this hyper-personalized campaign, because it's a lot of little pieces, right? You got the workflow structure, the account field, the contact record custom fields, you got the prompts, you have the email templates and how it all links together. So I thought I'd make it easy for you and actually start a whole new series of automations, AI-driven automations. And I'm going to be giving it away at a website called AI Automation Vault evergreen.com. And this is going to be the first one in there. So this is the first one of a series of AI automations I'm going to be making in high level. And I want to transfer all of them to you. But starting with this one that we just reviewed, the hyper-personalized nurture sequence. That's the one you're watching right now. Next one coming up is a hyper-personalized sales sequence. Man, I'm excited to build this one. I think it's going to be freaking awesome. And AI lead scoring. I have some very personal reasons for why I need AI lead scoring. You'll find out in that video coming probably next month. I'll probably do hyper-personalized sales sequence in the next week or two. So that one's coming soon. AI lead scoring in June. The one thing that I need if you do unlock this vault and sign up is that you do need a high level account. So if you already have high level, you're in luck. I will just send you the snapshot guide and the tutorial on how to actually use this snapshot. But if you don't have high level, then you can sign up for an extended trial. It's usually a 14-day trial, now a 30-day trial, so that you can, either download all these automations, reverse engineer them, break them down, or start a high level subscription. Either way, it's a free trial for you to find out how these automations work, for you to explore and either recreate them in your own system or use high level because it's freaking awesome. Let me show you exactly what you're going to get if you download this automation and install it in high level your account. This is actually the system where I have it right now. So in this snapshot, I have the hyper-personalized nurture sequence. I've taken my course name out of here, and you'll have to change it to whatever sequence you make it into. And I still have all the bones here of what we had created before with the tag enrolled in the AI course, the ChatGPT prompt already kind of ready to go with the custom account value in here and a place to post in either your transcript for the lesson or maybe the blog post or whatever text you have the lesson in. It maps the field correctly to the same ChatGPT field, and the email is kind of just ready for you to go, where you can insert a subject line, you can open up the email template's already put in place for you. I can't say it's designed. It's kind of a plain text looking thing right now, but it has the right merge codes in it of hi first name, insert your lesson here or video, and the actual custom field you need for that contact record to show up whatever ChatGPT gives back to you, because we're merging it into that custom field, remember? And you could design and make this however you want, but all the emails are in place and all the custom merge fields are in the right place, so you can kind of plug and play and build it from there. It's still going to take some work because you got to have the lessons and the content, but hopefully maybe you already have a 5-day kind of campaign. You can just copy and paste it over here and improve it with this AI created section of it. I also have, again, the custom account value already in place with a prompt. It says insert prompt here. I'll give you mine as an example fully as part of the vault. But the student characteristics, merge fields are already in here, and a place for you to plug in the original lesson, of course, that appears in the workflow itself. So again, if you want to grab this, go to aiautomationvault.com and you can unlock the vault, subscribe, start your free high-level account, and after that, an email will be sent to you from myself with a login to the vault so you can have access to this automation, a tutorial kind of walking you through quickly, step by step, what things you need to change in it in order to make it work for you, and all future AI automations that I build in high level itself so that you can actually transform your business from not just being enabled by tech, but being powered and driven by artificial intelligence, so you can spend more time doing only what you as a human can do, adding more value that way. So thank you for listening to this episode. If it's added any value to you, again, go to aiautomationvault.com and give this podcast a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. Give it a thumbs up on YouTube or a rating on any podcast app you are. Give it whatever stars you think it deserves, and a shout out if you found this helpful. It helps the show tremendously. Thank you.